It's, well, we're nearly there now, Lou, and you can see there the recap of the accomplishments of these players. We did touch on a few before there. You've got Eduardo with that 2020 Oceania International finalist. Then you've got the 2019 top 16 at Worlds, and then you've got that top 4 at Worlds as well. So one of, many accomplishments at this particular event, so very well established. And then you go down to Guillermo's, and I'm going to pass it over to you to take away.
Well, you can see Guillermo, like you said, Lee, over a decade ago was able to be the Spain national champion in 2011, has a top 8 Worlds back in 2012, along with most recently in this season getting top 8 at the European International Championships. But the thing I love about these players, already they are at their best finish at Worlds. Guillermo has got top 8 before, Eduardo has got top 4, so already they have completely destroyed that record, and one of them will be able to take it.
The one thing that you can say is that we talk about it. We talked about it on the analyst desk even before. Eduardo's run up to this point. He is undefeated in this tournament so far.
It's incredible to be undefeated at this level of competition and to potentially go undefeated in the
into this one, which will make it an even better spectacle for us in this final.
Well, the moment is here, the pressure is on, team preview has started. These players will have to start focusing on what Pokemon they are going to lead. We have seen a couple of times in this competition how important that turn 0 can be, and whether you are forced to reposition your Pokemon due to the offensive pressure that your opponent is emitting can really determine a match from the beginning. So this is a crucial moment for our players to think through every second and every opportunity in order to make the right decision.
Yeah, and it's quite an interesting matchup as well when you take both players kind of separately, because they have such unique play styles. You've got Eduardo on one side is very, he's got a lot of patience. He won't be over risky, take his time setting up his ball positions until he's got that perfect moment, and then he can execute his game plan to take the win. And then you've got Guillermo on the other side of the field, where he's very good at identifying opportunities and maybe other players don't see or overlook sometimes, and he capitalizes on those moments, and he's very offensive in those very short bouts, and that's what is very punishing about his play style, which is quite complimentary as a match, as a spectator for this particular game.
Exactly, we saw Guillermo not afraid to click that sword stance button or go for that hypnosis yesterday, so he can definitely identify, as you've said, Lee, those high risk, high reward moments, and Eduardo is going to have to identify them too and find a way to play around it. But Pokemon trainers, here we go. The grand finals of the Masters division between Eduardo and Guillermo is about to begin.
Let's get into it, Lou. I'm so excited for this, and everyone for Eduardo to have that Rillaboom and the Gastrodon, especially when you do have the threat from that Regieleki that has those big devastating attacks. The one thing though that Guillermo has in his favour is if he does decide to go Dynamax here, go for that Max Lightning. It's not going to be very effective, but it will change the terrain and it will give him a bit more immunity from those potential yawns that come out from this side of the field.
Regieleki's just going to get in on out of here and retreat in favour of the Incineroar. He's going to be able to throw a cheeky Intimidate down against that opposing Rillaboom and against some of the offensive pressure it will be emitting, as well as allowing Guillermo the opportunity to use Fake Out in the following turn. Lunala's also going to play a little bit defensively, going for a Protect, doesn't want to get his Shadow Shield ability broken so early on, as Rillaboom goes for the knockoff. That's dealt super effective damage and been so destructive to Lunala. Gastrodon following up the Icy Wind, revealing its disruptive speed control option. It's only going to catch the Incineroar, however, lowering speed by 1 stage, but already Eduardo is applying that lovely mix of offensive pressure with the knockoff and setting up a little bit of speed control with Gastrodon.
Yeah, it's a great lead here from Eduardo, and going straight on the offensive here with that knockoff to potentially get rid of an item, which would be so beneficial for that Lunala. You know, it does rely on that power move for the Meteor Beam to get that boost, but if you can knock it off, then it takes it out of the equation.
And really wants to Fake Out into the Rillaboom. Straight into Rillaboom, identifying such a key threat of a Pokemon and shutting it down so expertly. Rillaboom, as you can see, is fast asleep, is not going to be doing anything this turn, leaving the pressure up to Gastrodon to be able to capitalize on this situation, going for the Icy Wind. So it is going to break the Shadow Shield of Lunala and lower the speed, but I think that's a fantastic turn for Guillermo going forward in the match.
Right back into this game. the biggest thing here. The grassy glide as well, doing some really good damage into that crowd on now. And for this next turn, we're going to have another grassy glide that's going to be able to potentially pick up the knockout there after that residual burn damage.
And I mean, side relief to that Thunderous as well. The Sandstorm is gone because you can see it's taking that little bit of life or recoil. If it was also taking that little bit of sand chip, then it could possibly end up KOing itself to put himself right back in the driving seat for these last couple turns of game one. Rillaboom just needs to go for another grassy glide, deal a huge chunk to that ground on, and at the end of the day, the burn's going to be the last bit of chip to deal with ground on if it's even needed.
Yeah, and you've also got the Thunderous to contend with as well, with all his divine boost, and yeah, really conceding the first game. What a good game, going 1-0 up in this first set of the World Championship Speedy Masters final.
One leg down, potentially one more to go for Eduardo in order to take that title, but if you're Guillermo, you're going to have to now think, I'm down one game, but I can still claw it back. We've seen it time and time again where players are able to focus and come in and take games 2 and 3, and this is going to be one big final to watch out for. Eduardo has the advantage now, and I think played so well around the Pokemon on the opposing side. We can see that Guillermo came in and immediately started targeting down that Rillaboom, but Rillaboom had the last laugh. It was there still at the end of the game and able to get those critical KOs. Guillermo, it is the Grimmsnarl paired up with the fan favorite Charizard.
Charizard coming out here for Guillermo, and something he's not really leaned on too much in this tournament so far. So interesting to see that he's changing it up, going with his kind of plan B here, adjusting, and it's in a good position against this Ashen. But then you look on the other side of the field, and there's that Thunderous there that really threatens it quite hard. But you do have as well the Grimmsnarl, who is known for having screen support, so he's going to be able to help the defenses of that Charizard, although it will be slow on important things on the corner side of the field, so you've got to be aware of that.
Well, straight out the box here, Eduardo is going to go for that Dynamite, try to foul the item, but of course the Pokemon on the field, it's going to be that Thunderous. So immediately applying great pressure with something like a Max Airstream in order to try and keep the speed advantage on Eduardo's side, particularly when you're facing down against something like a Charizard that can also go for those amazing Max Airstreams. It does look like it's going to be Thunderous. Do you think it's that Charizard?
The Charizard, if it's surprised it was Grimmsnarl, but I think it will be. Yeah, both players going for their Dynamax here, or Gigantamax here with the Charizard. It is hitting the field. But it'll be interesting to see what item is played on that Charizard.
Yeah, and I love the adjustment, bringing Charizard into this game too. You can get that G-Max Wildfire set up and start going for the residual damage. Grimmsnarl's going to have as well the scary face, reducing the speed of the opposing Ashen by 2 stages here. Thunderous is then going to be the first to move outside of that Prancer ability and going for the Max Airstream, and you can see that it is not enough to get the 2 hit on the opposing Charizard. It is of course going to give the speed boost to Eduardo, but this does still leave the Charizard in the position where it can go for some big damage with that G-Max Wildfire. It's going to fall down onto the opposing Ashen. It is not enough.
That's a huge survival here. The Ashen getting that speed drop, so if they come on, it's in the worst possible position. It's not going to get any attacks off here, but it is, and it is able to go into that.
It may be slow at the moment, but Ashen is still powerful. It's a one-hit KO on that Grimmsnarl, but now means Guillermo doesn't have the utility to set up things like a Reflect or a Light Screen. Zacian will go down to that G-Max Wildfire, so a big KO apiece very early on in this game too. The critical thing here is they now have the option to bring a Pokemon in from the back.
Yeah, we do, and it'll be interesting to see what both players kind of opted for this time around compared to that first game, because it obviously mixed things up a little bit from that first game. But a big turn here, both players kind of going straight in turn 1 with those Dynamax, the Gigantamax, and both players losing pretty pivotal Pokemon to their side of the field, you know. The big thing for Guillermo is he's got no speed control now other than Max Airstream, but if you're going down the Max Airstream route, the Thunderous is already ahead of you and it's already got a Max Airstream onto the field. You need to concentrate onto that Incineroar.
Rillaboom going to go for the fake out into the opposing Incineroar. Thunderous wilds up with a wild charge, not going to be able to get the KO. Of course, Incineroar's not going to be able to move in this turn as Groudon goes for the Rock 2. Really targeting down the Thunderous. It's just Groudon against Groudon and the Incineroar. Do you think Rillaboom's got enough, or are we going to see a game 3?
This is going to go right down to the wire here. The Groudon on minimal health, but able to get the knockout onto that Thunderous here. And the Incineroar not in a great position, but is it in range from something that the Rillaboom's got? Maybe something like that high horsepower. Can it go into that slot, pick up the knockout, and then survive whatever the Groudon's able to throw out onto you to pick up the knockout the next turn with the Grassy Glide? The problem is, if the Groudon has got access to big fire type attack boosted by the sun, it will be able to potentially pick up a knockout onto the Rillaboom depending on how it's trained.
Yeah, Crowder just going for the rock too. Let's see if he carry that 5-time move into the Rillaboom. Does a little bit of damage, of course, reducing the speed of that Rillaboom. Twisting Flare Blade into Rillaboom.
Taking into a game 3 here. That was incredible. That was backwards on. You know, they're both trading blows. What seemed like every
With the Grid Star once again, and Eduardo has gone for the Thunderous and Zacian combination for this game 3.
Yeah, same Pokemon out for this game 3, so both players very comfortable with their choices here. Got the same situation again with the Charizard. It is putting a lot of, you know, it's threatening that Zacian. But without the sun, we know the Zacian can survive the big G-Max Wildfire, you know, at least get an attack off before it goes down. So that's something to consider, maybe adapt, change a little bit going into this turn.
I was going to say, I'd probably love to see just the Rogue Dragon switch in, but not happening here. It's going to be a Dynamax on that Thunderous. Going to be playing out very similarly to the way Game 2 is here. Both of these trainers decided to Dynamax very, very early in Game 2 and apply that offensive pressure straight away. We see the Dynamax from Water, but not for Guillermo in this turn. Instead, opting to go for Protect and play a little bit defensively. Coming back onto the battlefield, Crimson's going to set up the Reflect, and I really like this adjustment. Scary Base wasn't too beneficial in the end. Being able to get the defensive measures up are going to protect you from both of these physical attackers on Eduardo's side. Behemoth Blade comes out from the opposing Zacian, however, it will connect onto that Crimson, but with Reflect in play, it's still not going to be able to survive.
No, it goes down, and that I think that the decision here, you know, Guillermo's like, if the Zacian stays on the field, which it will this turn, and protect him with my Charizard, I have to get some more out of it. I didn't get any value out of it that last game. It was a Scary Face. It was gone after the Zacian kind of was knocked out. Now you've got the Reflect in play against these big physical attackers. It's way more impactful, especially protecting your Charizard that you saw obviously taking the max airstream there that turn, but not taking as much damage as Guillermo would have been taking that previous game without the Reflect.
I mean, this is where things could change slightly. You've got the sun on the field. Charizard could be in a position to go for that Gigantamax and put down big pressure with a G-Max Wildfire, try and deal with the Zacian. But the issue is Eduardo has got such speedy Pokemon at the moment. Something like a Max Lightning followed up by Behemoth Blade could be enough to completely remove that Charizard from play.
Yeah, and that's the you know, if you get a Max Lightning into that slot, you've got to be very aware, but the Reflect gonna at least help you take that a lot better. And then you get that the G-Max Wildfire off. You're a bit later on in the game as well when you decide to go for the Gigantamax, if it is the Charizard at all. You know, you've got an extra turn of that Gigantamax because you kind of protected the last turn, whereas, you know, Eduardo's got this turn with his Dynamax Thunderous and then one more turn, and then that's the end of it. So he needs to really make sure that he's getting the most out of these turns while it's still intact. And interesting to see if Guillermo is indeed going for that this turn.
I mean, you're right, picking the time to click that Dynamax button can be so critical, and even though Eduardo's already gone for it, Guillermo held back a turn, and Gigantamax Charizard is now going to be on the battlefield applying pressure, doubling up its HP stat to give it the extra bulk it may need in order to survive a double up. If you're Guillermo, you want to get the G-Max Wildfire out on the field. Zacian is going to move first, going for that Behemoth Blade. Now, even though it's not necessarily super effective against the Charizard, it's still in its Dynamax form. It's going to do a good chunk of damage and possibly put it in a vulnerable position to take a super effective attack like the Max Lightning. Thunderous goes for it. Charizard takes it, but
Still another huge turn. I think we were banking on that Charizard surviving here. It was slow and both the Pokemon on the right were on the side of the field. If the Charizard was able to survive through that Reflect, then it would have been able to get an attack off and really swing that momentum back into Chimera's favour. But unfortunately, that was not the case. Now that huge Behemoth Blade able to get enough damage when Thunderous able to capitalise and pick up the knockout and not have any impact from that Charizard at all.
I mean, the crowd is going wild here with 2 turns in, 2 KOs down for Guillermo, and Eduardo in such a strong, commanding position to try and take the title.
Yeah, and now it gets a little bit worse as well with the Thunderous' Defiant ability activating, getting an attack boost from the Intimidate on that Incineroar. And the difference is this time around, Eduardo has still got that Zacian on the field and a very healthy Thunderous now. Boosted attack, it's going to be doing a lot of damage into that Incineroar.
Well, Zacian, I think, wise to go for the Protect here. You've got Fake Out on the opposing side. You don't want to be accidentally, but there's no Fake Out actually. It's just going to be a Max Airstream into the Incineroar, not enough to get the KO. But again, Eduardo just dealing so much damage against Guillermo, but there isn't really the rest fight to have any option for recovery. Speed is obviously going to boost up on Eduardo's side as Groudon goes for the rock zoom, trying to counter that speed boost, but just dealing such insignificant damage. Thunderous is just in such a healthy position with another Defiant boost that it is so strongly positioned to get a KO on this next turn. That's it. It's sort of what I'd like to say about it. It's like, I'm sorry, no, I've had enough Thunderous, let's get it out of here. I want a KO too.
Yeah, and you see that the double up really nice as well. Obviously taking advantage of the turn where there is fake out pressure. That's why we saw Zacian protect there, not do any damage this turn, and really be able to capitalize on it. He has to capitalize like that every turn going forward now. Unfortunately, the Calyrex Shadow Rider now hitting the field, which is going to be faster than both that Groudon and Incineroar, and Zacian in a position to potentially pick up the knockout here. And the double up onto the Groudon looks like it's incoming.
And in contrast to previous matches in this set, we know that Focus Sash is on that Calyrex, but there's no wildfire and no stand to chip away at it. So if you're Guillermo, you have to double into it to remove it from the field. Zacian's going to go with Behemoth Blade into Groudon, not dealing too much damage, but just chipping away at it to allow the Calyrex to return with an Astral Barrage. Now the Grimmsnarl earlier did not set up a light screen, so this is going to deal big damage, get the KO on Incineroar, and put Groudon in range of KO in the next turn.
This is getting right down to the wire. Here we are seeing that Grimly ability activate and getting a boost in its special attack for the Calyrex. Yes, it's going to hit even harder that next turn. Precipice Blades does connect, but not enough to take down the Calyrex here for Eduardo.
I mean, you get rid of Zacian and you bring Eduardo down to the last two remaining Pokemon, but we've already seen the way the speeds are playing out. Rillaboom's going to join the field, however, set that grassy terrain, and I think Rillaboom's one of the key Pokemon in games 1 and 2. But in this game 3, it's really been coming down to the way that Thunderous was able to pivot around and have this Calyrex in a position where it's going to be able to get a KO.
Yeah, and I think the key factor there was how long that Zacian was allowed to stick around on the field. And incredible set, massive congratulations to everyone. 2022 Pokemon World Champion.
That was incredible. The crowd is going wild. Eduardo is celebrating on the stage. Huge congratulations to our champion. Wow. I mean, what a set.
I'm still catching my breath. I'm sure everyone here is. What a moment. And for us to be here to experience it, incredible. Massive congratulations to both of our competitors here. Performed extremely well throughout this entire event. And what a set. It was perfect. A perfect way to end a perfect weekend.
Everything has leveled up. There's the cable cars that were outside. I don't know. You all got a chance to ride them.
I rode them before they got the decorations on, and I was like, come on.
You have to go back.
I know.
They're
Hopefully
amazing.
they're still there.
Yes. But like everything that they've done to level up this world is amazing. And as well, we've all been playing online. There's been these communities that have evolved, and being able to meet people for the first time that we've gotten to know for years, and then meeting people we haven't seen for years. It just seems like the biggest family reunion. And I know it goes back to your answer, but it's really true, and that's why this world is going to be one of the more special ones for me.
I mean, this is my first time in London, so I have that double whammy of being at such a big event and finally being here in this beautiful town. And it's just, everything is so grand. When I saw the stage for the first time, you know, we were here for rehearsals, we were still getting everything set up, but even not fully put together, it was still jaw-dropping.
特性を持っている代わりに倒すことができればサイドを2枚取ることができます。そんなポケモン EX の中でも特に進化のポケモン EX は取られるサイドは2枚ですが、ポケモン VMAX に並ぶ高い HP と少ないエネルギーで強力な技を繰り出せるポケモンが多く、一気に戦況を覆す力を持っています。このように強力な2進化のポケモン EX をはじめ、さまざまなポケモンたちが活躍する幅広い環境になっていきます。さらにスカーレット&バイオレットシリーズでは逆転も大事なテーマになっていて、逆転のきっかけとなりうる能力を持ったポケモン、トレーナーズ、エネルギーなどが登場予定となります。今後シリーズを通してまだ見ぬポケモンやおなじみのポケモンたちもポケモン EX として登場していきますので、続報をお待ちください。ここまでお話をさせていただきましたポケモンカードゲームのスカーレット&バイオレットシリーズは、ポケモンカードゲームのニュースタンダードとしてこれまで以上の拡張性を持たせ、さまざまな形でゲームに刺激を与えていきます。ぜひこれからのポケモンカードゲームの進化をお楽しみに。ご清聴ありがとうございました。
喜びとインスピレーションでいっぱいになりました。
Trainers, your battles this weekend have filled me with joy and inspiration.
皆さんが情熱を持ってプレイしてくれるおかげで、私たちはポケモンのゲームをこうして作り続けることができています。
It's thanks to all you passionate players that we're able to continue creating Pokemon games.
この秋からポケモンの世界の新しい地方での冒険が始まります。これからそのカードとゲームの最新の情報をお届けしたいと思います。
This fall, a new journey in a new region in the world of Pokemon is about to begin. And today, I would like to share some news about our upcoming games and the future.
まずはこの映像をご覧ください。
First, please take a look at this video.
皆さんこんにちは、フィーチャーズ長島です。ご覧いただいた映像は2023年から始まるポケモンカードゲームスカーレット&バイオレットシリーズの世界初公開映像です。ポケモンワールドチャンピオンシップスにご参加の皆様と放送を見てくださっている世界中の方々に向けてご覧いただいた映像についてより詳しくお話ししたいと思います。映像内で登場した EX は今回のシリーズを象徴するロゴとなっており、生命感を感じるスマートな強さを表現したデザインとなっています。ポケモン EX は種、1進化、2進化それぞれの発売ポケットモンスター、スカーレット、バイオレット、ぜひ楽しみにしていてください。
Please look forward to Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet coming November 18th.
Thank you, Mr. Ishihara, for those exciting announcements. And now, it's time to turn our attention to crowning this year's World Finalists. finalist from Australia, Kieran Nguyen. From Japan, Kosaku Miyamoto! The senior division finalist from Australia, Nicholas Kahn! The 2022 Senior Division World Champion from Japan, Yasuharu Shimizu! The Masters Division finalist from Spain, Guillermo Castilla Diaz!
トレーナーの皆さん、今年のご活躍、改めておめでとうございます。
Once again, congratulations to all of you on your performance this weekend.
最後にもう一つ、皆さんにお知らせしたいことがあります。
There's one more thing I'd like to share with you.
What? What?
それは来年の世界大会の開催地です。
And that is next year.
Yeah, mate, yeah, please. So my phone cut out in the most crucial bit. It's in Yokohama, which is next year. It's gonna be awesome. I don't know how long I'll be able to record for, not for long, but yeah, that's the end of Worlds. First of a time in London, probably last of a time in London. So that's amazing. Scarlet and Violet stuff was pretty cool. Probably pre-evolution form of Miraidon and Koraidon, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, day's over, weekend's over. There it is. Dubai Worlds. You've been fun. You've been awesome. Wish I could have got the promo card for the championships for 2022, but I was dumb, didn't know it was a thing, didn't see it was there, didn't know how to get it. My own fault. But still, see you in 2 months XL for MSIM Comic Con, and that also goes for you people too, so I shall see you in 2 months. Farewell.